Ask for some audience questions now, but please all follow at Artists for Change LA on social media. You'll see this little icon here, and sign up for our newsletters, come to our events. And anyone got a question? You, sir.
Hello. Hello. Julia, it's Robert.
Hello, Robert.
She calls me Ozen Rosen. I'm so proud of you. Forgive me all for being personal for a moment. I'm so proud of you. You have been involved in this arena, this subject matter for many years. I remember going to, I guess it was an interview or a seminar given by some LAPD detectives who specialize in finding young women, and how passionate you are about the subject matter. This had to be 7, 8 years ago at least. And the result of that was Lost Girls, which was wonderful. And here you are with this. And I want to congratulate all of the cast. You were so wonderful. I was sitting here crying so much. And I'm not an easy cry. I'm a cynical New Yorker. And I almost had to walk out a few times. And I was so worried you'd see me walk out. So I didn't let myself do it. But I said, okay, you walk out and come back. You know, but I could barely take it, which is good. And I want to congratulate the writers, because you never browbeat me with it. And yet, we were in the middle of it the whole time, but I never felt like I was being preached at. And I'm sure with all the research that was done and all the information you and the producers, directors, and writers did, it would have been so easy to throw all these stats at us and all this information, and you didn't. And we stuck with this wonderful young actress who, I don't know if you even understand what it is, God, I hope I'm not mansplaining. It's so hard to be a young actor of any type, to understand that you held an entire movie. And that is really a hard thing to do, and you did it. And good for you. And that shows the trust that your director, producers, and had in you, because they're seeing, okay, she's good, but can she hold a film? And you did it. And all of you were marvelous. And when I saw Rena on screen, I got so excited, because I was there in Sundance in '94 when she was the sensation of Sundance in One School Warriors. And, it was great to see her here on screen again. And thank you so much, Julia. I wish you so much luck with this. And I know that you're serving the world, and this movie will live on in many, many permutations. I hope you get into school systems and, all kinds of foundations, and it'll do its job, really. And you, sir, I know you did a good job, because I wanted to beat you. That's a compliment.
Thank you. Anyone else got a question for any of the cast?
Yeah. From the time, did you write this?
I did write
Okay,
it,
so
yeah.
from the time that you wrote the script, and then the timeline between casting and how many shooting days did you have?
This was actually pretty quick. It took me about a year to write the script, but I'd also done 2 other movies before this one, so I'd already done a lot of research. And so I went into the script kind of knowing the story that I wanted to tell from the research that I'd done and the feedback I got on the previous films. And then from actually making it to the release, from pre-production to now, it was a year process.
How many shooting days did you have?
15.
15. Wow. Wow.
Impressive.
Thank you. Now, there was a lady over there who had a question. Who was it? Someone had their hand up. Was that you?
Yeah, that was my question. How many days did this shoot?
Okay, cool.
But it was a brilliant film. I mean, congratulations, everybody. I'm so
Okay, let's have you, sir.
I have a question for Izzy and for anyone as well. I loved what you said, everything about Izzy. Of course, we've known how incredibly talented you are and how raw emotion is one of like your incredible strong suits, and it's joy seeing you on screen. Everyone is so talented as well. And at that point of knowing that talent you have and the trust it took to make an entire film and to lead that film all together, can you talk more about what the experience was like of having maybe, I don't know, the pressure, but also the trust from the director as well team? Any advice for young actors who aspire to have some of the movies as well?
Sure. Okay, still alive.
Yes.
This is so funny. That's Eric who asked that question. We were in the Heights together at LMU, so we've worked together before. I felt like very pressured, no, but just by myself. Like I had never, led a film before. I had done like small things here and there, but I think a lot of that came from, we did a rehearsal, which I was so thankful for. It was Patricia, John Franco, and Julia, and I think that really made me feel a lot better. We also did a rehearsal. It was you, me, and Billy ahead of time at your house, and that was wonderful as well. And that was the first time I met Billy, which was so scary. I was like, I'm supposed to be scared of him. But I would, ooh, this is so loud. I think the pressure, especially, we just have the best casting crew. I actually posted a photo today, or multiple photos of like photos I took of the crew, just because they made such a safe environment, and that's a lot due to Julia. She is an actress, as you can tell from the film, and I think having an actor as a director is so helpful, because she knew, there's a scene I wake up after the first time of, something very horrible happening, and she made sure like everyone who's not essential, let's get out of the room. And it wasn't a big deal, it was just what it was. And I also learned, so that was one thing. And then the second thing was improvisation. One of the things I learned in the callback was that we were going to be improvising a lot throughout the movie, which was very freeing, especially coming from the person who wrote the script, that we were able to do that. And then on set, because I was a little nervous, to take that step into doing it. But Patricia and John Franco, oh my gosh, they just led the way for that. And I learned so much. That first week was like a boot camp. All the shots of in the apartment. Sorry, I don't know how to use this mic. Apparently I don't do theater. But all of that, I was a boot camp, because they were like, no, we're gonna improv, it's okay, we've got you. And it was just such a level of support. And then to answer the second part of your question, which was like advice for young actors, which I don't think I'm qualified to give. I would just say be in class. Like I take a weekly class, I take a class privately. I feel like I'm always trying to learn, and I learned on set. I feel like it's been about a year and a half since then. I've learned so much since then, and I would just say constantly learning, and learning not just from people who are your teachers, but people who you're working with, people that you wouldn't even expect to learn from. I learned so much from my mother, who's not involved in this at all, but is a former social worker and has all this wealth of knowledge, and and then live life. A lot of life to live, I think, is helpful. Sorry, that was so long-winded.